Archangel Michael says, "The skies opened in silence when their eyes first caught you. What you don't know is that someone has been watching you from afar, holding a letter meant only for you. The paper is old, the ink has dried, but the intention inside it is burning alive. That letter carries words too dangerous to speak and too sacred to remain hidden much longer. This person is not a stranger. You felt them in rooms you didn't see them in. Their presence is like a whisper behind your shoulder that disappears when you turn around. There are footprints near your door that didn't belong to you. A trace of emotion hovers in the atmosphere every time you pass a particular place, and you wonder why your heart tightens there. This watcher has kept distance not out of hatred, but because the truth they carry is heavier than they expected. Something happened long ago, and the words inside that letter could unlock more than just memories. They could free you or crush you, depending on when you read them. Type Amen to get blessing 333. Archangel Michael says, "The letter contains revelations from someone who never stopped loving you, even when life tore them apart from your timeline. They held on to the hope that one day you would understand why they stayed away. The truth was never abandonment, it was protection." You might recall moments where you felt someone's energy shield you without knowing why. That wasn't random. That was their invisible hand reaching to cover you from dangers you never saw coming. The person behind the letter made sacrifices that cost them dearly. They stepped back so your path could be clearer, even if it meant being forgotten. But they never let go of you in their spirit. Now, time has folded in on itself. That letter is vibrating again. Something is urging them to come forward. Your name is the first line in the message. Type Amen to get blessing 772. They have seen you laugh through your loneliness, and cry behind closed doors where no one clapped or noticed. They saw the betrayal, the loss, the disappointment. And still, they said nothing, choosing to suffer in silence rather than bring you more pain. This letter was supposed to be handed over years ago. But life took turns, people interfered, and timing misaligned. So they hid it, and waited for divine permission. Now something inside them is pushing hard. A dream, a vision, a sign too strong to ignore. You are being pulled closer to the moment you were destined to know. They wrote about your childhood, about the version of you that once trusted freely. They wrote about your kindness, your strength, and how you changed after being hurt. Every word was carved from regret, but also from deep, unshakable reverence. Type Amen to get blessing 144. This letter knows things even you've forgotten. It holds truth that can rewrite your present understanding of your own life. Hidden betrayals, secret guardians, and moments where someone interfered in your favor, all are waiting inside those folded pages. Don't underestimate the power of what was written. There's a reason it was kept so long. It was meant to reach you when your spirit was strong enough to receive it fully. A woman once told the letter writer, "If you give this now, it will break her." So they held it back, even though it broke them in the process. Every time they opened the drawer to look at it, their hands trembled. The ink speaks of love, pain, guilt, and a truth that can no longer stay buried. It will find its way to you, whether they hand it over willingly or fate forces it into your hands. Either way, you will read it soon. Type Amen to get blessing 227. They wrote about the day they saw you but couldn't speak. They described how your eyes reminded them of everything they lost. How your smile triggered a memory they'd spent years trying to forget. But you smiled anyway, unaware, and kept walking. You didn't know the soul behind the eyes watching you was aching with 1,000 unsaid words. There's something about you that still ties them to this life. They've tried to move on. But each time, the letter called them back. They've been in rooms where your name was mentioned and they had to act like it didn't affect them. But it did. It shook them to their core. And each time, they went home, read the letter again, and cried. Type Amen to get blessing 981. You don't know that someone prays for you every night before they close their eyes. Not for themselves. Only for your protection, clarity, and joy. And when you hurt, something inside them collapses too. The letter says, I saw them before anyone else did. I knew who they were becoming before they knew it themselves. I watched their power rise, and I chose to stay quiet because I didn't want my presence to interfere. What they don't realize is, your spirit has already felt theirs all this time. That's why you often dream of eyes you can't recognize. That's why music sometimes brings tears for no reason. Their soul has touched yours through time and prayer. The letter is just the physical proof. The moment it's in your hands, clarity will flood like a wave. Type Amen to get blessing 500. You'll finally understand why certain people suddenly left. Why things were delayed. Why some relationships didn't work out. It wasn't just life, it was their silent intervention from a distance. A man once tried to get close to you, but this person blocked it in the spirit realm. You never saw the fight, but you felt the release. The letter mentions that. They described the first moment they realized they couldn't stay away from you completely. Even from 1,000 miles, my heart beat when theirs did. That's what the letter says. They were shown signs that you were in danger once, and they rushed to pray, fast, and spiritually protect you. They never told you. But they did it, over and over. Type Amen to get blessing 844. They wrote about the day you nearly gave up. They felt it in their bones. My soul screamed that night, they wrote. I wanted to drive to them. I almost did. But fear kept them frozen. They believed they had lost the right to appear. That's the biggest wound they carry, the thought that you might not want them back, even after all this. The letter is handwritten. The corners are worn. There's a tear stain on the lower right of the second page. They tried rewriting it several times, but always ended up going back to the original. Because truth can't be edited. Type Amen to get blessing 612. Now it's not just their burden anymore. The spiritual world is involved. Signs are showing everywhere, license plates, repeating numbers, dreams, sudden names popping up. You're being called to open your spirit, because the message is nearly at your doorstep. You will feel it before you receive it. A shift in your heartbeat. A strange stillness in the air. You'll find yourself stopping at a mailbox. Or staring at an unknown number texting you. Or bumping into someone who says something that doesn't make sense, but somehow does. That's the sign that it's near. Don't be afraid. You were made for this. Type Amen to get blessing 299. Archangel Michael says, this letter was meant to reach you now because you've reached the strength and spiritual maturity to handle it. You're not the same fragile heart you once were. You've grown into someone who can hold truth, even when it stings. They wrote that you are more than a memory to them. You're a miracle they never thought they deserved. But now they pray that the letter gives them just a small space back in your life, even if only for closure. There is a sealed corner in that letter meant only to be opened if you choose forgiveness. It contains the rawest truth. The kind that changes everything. They will hand it to you soon. Or it will find you another way. But it's written. It's waiting. Type Amen to get blessing 466. They have been guided by dreams that haunt them. And in those dreams, your voice tells them one thing: come forward. The letter is the only way they know how. Don't be surprised if a stranger hands you something and disappears. Don't be alarmed if a familiar car pauses near you and then drives away. These are not random. This is destiny moving into motion. They won't say everything aloud. But the words are on paper. And they'll hope your hands are the ones that open it. They have finally realized, they cannot live with the weight of silence anymore. Type Amen to get blessing 303. That letter may arrive in an envelope with no return address. It may be slipped under your door. It might even be read out loud through someone else's voice. No matter how it comes, it is coming. And when it does, everything inside you will recognize it. This message is not new to your soul. It has just been waiting. The person watching you from afar knows it's time. The heavens know it's time. And soon, so will you. Type Amen to get blessing 115. They've been practicing how to deliver it. In their mirror, in their dreams, in conversations they have only with their own reflection. But no rehearsal can capture what this moment will mean, for them, and for you. Somewhere in their room, hidden in a drawer or tucked in a bag, that letter lies wrapped in fabric they once wore the day they left. It still smells like a season you lived through but never fully understood. That scent is laced into the paper, waiting to wake your memories the moment your hands unfold it. They wrote it without expectation. They never believed you'd read it. But they couldn't silence their spirit. So they wrote anyway. They signed it not with their name, but with something only you would recognize. Maybe a pet name. A phrase. A line from something only you two once shared. Type Amen to get blessing 404. There's power in the pages because it was written with trembling hands and a heart torn between silence and truth. They whispered your name after each sentence. They said sorry 100 times on the last page. If you feel sudden emotion soon, tears without a cause, joy without explanation, it's because the energy of that letter is beginning to touch your field. It's reaching out before it arrives. The one watching you from afar isn't doing so out of fear. They're doing it because they don't know if you're ready to forgive. They're waiting for a sign, from the universe, from your energy, from your eyes. And that sign is coming. Something you'll do without even realizing will give them courage. That's when the letter will leave their hands. Type Amen to get blessing 238. There are witnesses who know this letter exists. A woman once held it and begged them not to send it. Let it go, she said. It's better if they never know. But they couldn't. Every fiber of their being screamed that you deserve the truth. Even if it comes late, it must come. They've kept photos of you, never shared, never posted. Hidden in their phone, in drawers, in journals. Each time they looked, they prayed. They prayed that you would find peace. That you would love again. That somehow, you would feel the presence of someone still rooting for you. They never stopped being your silent supporter, even when the world turned its back on you. Type Amen to get blessing 191. Archangel Michael says, this letter was crafted not just by human hands but guided by Spirit. That's why its words still carry warmth even after all this time. That's why your soul will shiver when you touch it. Every word in it is a thread meant to stitch together broken understanding. Every sentence is a truth they once couldn't speak aloud. But now the world is shifting. There's a portal of forgiveness, of clarity, opening just for you. The timing couldn't be more divine. The letter is not just confession. It is apology. It is closure. And maybe, it is a new beginning. Type Amen to get blessing 663. When you read the letter, things you once questioned will finally settle. Past arguments, lost moments, unexplained endings, they will all fall into place. You'll realize you were protected from things you didn't even know were dangerous. You'll understand that their distance wasn't neglect. It was a decision made in pain. They were made to choose between being close and causing harm, or staying away and loving from a distance. They chose the path that hurt them but protected you. The letter is them saying, I never stopped caring. I just stopped showing it, because I was told I didn't deserve to. Type Amen to get blessing 899. You may find that certain names pop into your life again. You'll remember things said long ago that now make sudden sense. You'll feel chills, confirmation, presence. The air around you will feel different on the day it arrives. The wind may shift. A certain bird may appear. These are signs from the divine that something sacred is about to reach your hands. The person behind the letter will feel a shift too. The weight will begin to lift. They'll feel both terrified and relieved. And you, when you hold it, you'll feel like the last piece of a puzzle has just clicked. Type Amen to get blessing 517. This isn't just their story. It's part of yours too. That's why you're being prepared spiritually for its arrival. That's why you're here, reading this message now. You are being positioned to receive. The veil is thinning. And soon, what was hidden will come to light. You won't be angry. You'll feel seen. Finally. The version of you they wrote about is still alive, still blooming. They wrote, I see who you are, even when the world misunderstands you. I saw your greatness before anyone else did. I just didn't know how to stay without breaking you. Type Amen to get blessing 356. You are not alone. Your story is being guided. You are being led to this divine crossroad not by coincidence, but by design. Everything you've been feeling lately, the unrest, the strange dreams, the emotional waves, it's all part of the preparation. This moment is sacred. This truth is coming. And this letter is the doorway through which a hidden part of your destiny will be revealed. When it's finally in your hands, hold it gently. Read it slowly. And listen, not just with your eyes, but with your soul. Type Amen to get blessing 121. They will be somewhere, watching from afar again. Not to intrude. Not to control. But hoping. Hoping that this final act of courage redeems their silence. Hoping that their truth doesn't push you further away, but closer. And if your heart allows, maybe one day your eyes will find theirs again. And no words will be needed. Because everything they couldn't say will have already been read. In this silent bond, this divine letter, love waited. Type Amen to get blessing 800. They are already rehearsing how it might feel, what your face will look like when you finish reading. Will your hands tremble the way theirs did when they wrote it? Will you cry the way they did, silently, night after night, with only that letter for company? They once sat in a car, parked near a place they knew you often visited, hoping to see you just once. But they didn't approach. They couldn't. They only held the letter tighter in their hands and whispered your name. They thought time would erase the pull they felt, but it didn't. It deepened. And now, the letter is more than just ink and paper, it's their final offering. They wrote, "This isn't to make you return. This is to make you understand." That's all they've ever wanted, for you to understand what truly happened. Type Amen to get blessing 922. There's a hidden photo folded inside the letter, one you've never seen. A moment captured while you weren't looking, when your light shined the brightest. They carried it through years of changes, heartbreaks, new cities, and silent birthdays. They watched you grow from afar, always wondering, always hoping. And even though they tried to move on, nothing ever truly replaced you. Not one person, not one experience, not one escape. This is the kind of letter that doesn't just reveal secrets, it resurrects memory, innocence, connection. It breathes life into a truth that's been suffocating in silence. You might even feel it before you see it. A sudden warmth in your chest. A pull in your stomach. A whisper inside your heart that says, "It's coming." Type Amen to get blessing 188. Archangel Michael says, "The time is set. The divine calendar has marked your name for truth. Heaven is making space for healing." This watcher, this letter holder, once asked the universe to allow them one more chance to speak to you, even if only through paper. That wish is now being granted. They won't ring your bell. They won't beg. But they will place the letter where your eyes can find it. And they'll pray you choose to read every word. Because in those words are not just explanations. There's peace. There's release. There's freedom for both of you. Type Amen to get blessing 117. The letter speaks of nights where they woke up gasping your name. They wrote of a moment when they held something that belonged to you and couldn't let go. A scarf. A piece of jewelry. A photo torn in half. Their silence hasn't been cold, it's been sacred. Sacred like a vow. They couldn't allow themselves to interrupt your growth, even if it meant losing you forever. But now, Their spirit has reached the edge of what it can hold. They're ready to surrender this story to you. To give it back, complete. They trust that whatever happens next is in the hands of divine justice. Type Amen to get blessing 446. If you begin to notice symbols, letters falling out of books, repeated initials, your birthday on unfamiliar clocks, it's not imagination. It's alignment. That letter is coming closer. The one watching you has wept in secret. They've laughed alone at your public victories, celebrating you without applause. And they've defended your name in spaces you'll never know about. You have no idea how much spiritual protection they sent your way. They couldn't say it then. So they're writing it now. The letter is their final spiritual assignment before they begin a new chapter of their own. Type Amen to get blessing 602. It might reach you by mail. Or through a person. Or dropped anonymously where you work or live. However it comes, it will carry the unmistakable vibration of divine timing. Some pages will look smudged, not from damage, but from tears. The words are still readable, but the pain behind them is undeniable. This was never easy for them. They watched you live through heartaches they wished they could have spared you from. And even when others misunderstood you, they saw your truth. That's why this letter exists. It's your truth being handed back to you, in full. It's the mirror no one else dared to give you. Type Amen to get blessing 700. They've started writing your name again without fear. In the margins of notebooks. In journals. In dreams. Not to claim you, but to finally honor you. They've realized that what they held in silence was too powerful to die with them. And they don't want the letter to be found after they're gone. They want you to have it while you're alive, while it can still change something. You will know when it's near. The winds will shift. A scent from your past may fill a room. You may hear your name when no one's there. That's the moment. The sacred handoff is about to happen. Type Amen to get blessing 843. This person who's been watching you, praying for you, writing to you, carries the weight of choices they wish they never had to make. But now they want to share that weight with you, not to burden you, but to finally set both of you free. Once you read the letter, you will never see your life the same way again. Certain people will fall from your memory, while others will return in spirit. It will hurt. But it will heal more than it wounds. You are ready. Your soul has reached the strength needed to hold this truth without shattering. Type Amen to get blessing 909. You were never forgotten. You were never abandoned. You were protected, just not in a way you could see at the time. And now, that protection is turning into revelation. The letter is no longer just theirs, it's yours too. What they couldn't say with voice, they poured into paper. What they couldn't give in presence, they're offering in honesty. This is not closure. This is an awakening. Type Amen to get blessing 311. Archangel Michael says, the secret letter is alive with divine breath. It is a message your soul agreed to receive before time began. And now the divine door is open. Your story is about to make sense. The missing pieces are coming home. The one who watched you with love and regret is finally releasing what they were never supposed to carry alone. Prepare yourself. What's written is not fiction, it's your truth returning to you. Soon, you will not just read it. You will feel it, live it, and understand everything. Type Amen to get blessing 1111.